Hello and welcome to your tarot forecast for the new moon in Leo 2022. My name is Michelle Shea Walker. I am an intuitive coach, a Reiki teacher, a yoga instructor, and the creator of the Total Betty Goddess deck, which is a 90s themed oracle deck on sale over at michellesheawalker.com. And this is a bi-monthly offering. So on the new and full moon every month, I do a general collective reading that has now become an elemental reading. So what you're going to see in this video is earth, air, fire, water sign reading for the new moon. And then if those resonate for you, there's a hyper-focused reading that happens over on my Patreon, patreon.com/Michelle Shea. So for the monthly mystics and higher, you get the extended reading and you get to really dive in deep with multiple cards into the topics at hand. So if you feel called to join the Patreon, you will be part of that small collective energy that I'm reading for, and that's how the reading becomes hyper-focused. Also, if you want your energy to be really infused in the cards that I'm about to read, be sure to watch on YouTube, /Michelle Shea Walker, and click the subscribe and like button to basically digitally cut the deck. So if you've ever had a tarot card reading done in person with a professional, a lot of times they'll have you touch the cards, either pick the cards or cut the deck at some point, and that's just a way to get your energy involved in the process. Now, it's not completely necessary. I do digital readings all the time over on my website with my clients, and their energy is still infused because the intention is there. But if you want to add an extra little zhuzh into this digital reading, click the like button, click the subscribe button, and then your energy will be infused in this reading for hitting the like button and all of the readings that I do from here on out for the general collective because you are a subscriber on YouTube. And again, if you want to hyper focus it even more, join the Patreon Monthly Mystics and you will be a part of a very small group that I'm reading over there. So without further ado, we are going to dive into first a general collective Total Betty Goddess pull. The Total Betty Goddess deck is currently in the process of getting a makeover. So if you have not purchased your copy of the first edition, that is still available over at michellesheawalker.com, and you can get it for a discount because it's actually going to include the coloring guidebook that used to be an additional amount. So as a special sort of like parting gift for my first edition of this deck, we are including the coloring guidebook for the last few orders because there's a very limited number of decks still in stock. And then if you want to hang out until late August, maybe early September, you can place a pre-order for the second edition of the deck. And I am currently in the process of really thoroughly redesigning the whole thing. It's going to have a booklet that's included within the deck, so you don't have to worry about carrying something separate. It will go in the box. It's going to have new packaging. It's a larger box. Go over and just check out the photos, the mock-ups, because I'm very proud of the way that this 90s theme is coming together on this deck. New card backs for the new edition, so check out those designs as well. And then we've added 4 new cards, so it's a 48 card deck, and a couple of the cards in the current deck have gotten a little bit of a makeover. I'm also revising the guidebook to add in some additional information for your readings and how to read the cards, as well as just a new format. It's no longer going to be a coloring book, so if you do want that coloring book, you'll want to order the old edition, or super bonus, for the launch of this new deck, I am offering a special 90s time capsule box, and it includes the new deck, the old coloring guidebook. So you get 2 copies of the guidebook, but one of them is a coloring book in case you want to like really do a little color ritual for your goddess of choice, as well as a whole other host of 90s goodies like t-shirts, postcards, stickers. So head over to michellesheawalker.com. You can't miss it. It's the 90s times capsule listing. That will be how you can get the new deck and also get the coloring guidebook and a ton of other goodies. So without further ado, let's shuffle up the cards. So our Total Betty for the Leo new moon is going to be a very interesting energy. I don't know about you, if you are super empathic, you are probably feeling the energy shifts. And for some of you, it might feel great. For some of you, it might feel awful, but there's definitely something that's currently happening as we prepare to move into this new moon and into Lionsgate that happens on the 8th of August that feels like a rebirth, honestly. And at least around here, things are feeling like they're really coming together in a way that they haven't in years. So I hope that you're having a similar energy. And if you're not, know that sometimes when it feels like things are falling apart, that also means they're coming together. So our Total Betty Goddess of this Leo new moon is Perfection. Peel, played by Sarah Michelle Gellar in Cruel Intentions as Catherine. So this is actually one of the cards that's getting a slight makeover in the new deck, but the thing that's so perfect about this card is just, there's multiple reasons. The first is that this is a card of a volcano goddess, so it's fiery, and we are in a fire sign new moon. And then on top of that, it's very in alignment with sort of not so high vibration Leo energy, because if you know any Leos are super into being the center of attention. They're also super into letting other people feel like they're the center of the attention. And there's lots of compliments that get thrown around in Leo energy, especially when it's in a high vibe. However, the lower end of the vibe of Leo is that they're craving compliments, maybe they're not getting them, maybe they're feeling a little insecure themselves, and jealousy can come into play. So Peel is here to remind us that jealousy is not the most productive use of this Leo new moon energy. So as we are moving into this new moon and into Lionsgate on 8/8, I definitely recommend that you take a look at any areas of your life where you're having that green-eyed monster pop up and kind of reevaluate, because ultimately when we're feeling jealous about something, that's our soul gently pushing us in the direction of something that we want for ourselves. So rather than making a unproductive feeling out of the jealousy and just sitting and stewing and wishing that you had what someone else has, it's a good time to evaluate what is it about that person that you want to integrate within yourself. And then if you can find integration through that sort of sense of envy, then it isn't envy anymore. It's not jealousy anymore. It's now a tool for you to come into better alignment with the highest version of yourself. So that is what Goddess Peel is teaching us under this new moon. So if you're feeling any jealousy, try to reframe it as a productive and integrative emotion so that you can really become the best possible version of yourself. Other people are simply a mirror back to you as to what you want more of in your life or what you need more of in your life. So whatever it is that you're envying in others, make a plan to make it part of yourself as well. So with that in mind, we will dive into our elemental readings. I am using the Modern Witch Tarot, which I just gifted myself for my birthday last month, and I am loving. So I am going to shuffle it up, and we're going to start with the fire signs because we are under a fire new moon, and then we'll go fire, water, earth, air. And if you're watching on YouTube, which you should be because you went over there to hit the like and the subscribe button to infuse your energy into this reading, you will be able to see the timestamps in the description below. So if you do want to skip around, feel free, but if you want to watch multiple elements of your chart, sun, moon, rising, and maybe even Venus, I'm feeling like there might be some summer love happening here, so Venus signs are really good to check in as well. Feel free, and if something resonates, tell me about it in the comments below. So fire signs, we have Aries, Leo, and Sagittarius. We are shuffling up the deck for your energy and advice for this new moon tarot. Please excuse the wobble because I am still trying to figure out a setup that doesn't involve me shuffling on the same table where my camera is resting, but we deal. So fire signs, your energy for this new moon is the Star. And your advice, the Lovers. What did I just say? I just said that I feel like we're gonna have some summer love happening. And here we have the Lovers card. So this is a very exciting reading. If you're a fire sign, welcome to your moment, because this is definitely gonna be a happy birthday for your Leos. It's going to be divinely guided. There's a lot of faith that's involved in this because they're both major arcana cards. And honestly, there's no bad here. The Star is all about blessings and wishes being fulfilled and just finding this really peaceful alignment with yourself. And then the Lovers is about finding divine union. Now, a little note, because I am not the type of reader that likes to just go into this codependent area where we're talking always about relationships. I understand, I get it. I'm a Cancer, I'm a hopeless romantic. I understand wanting to know what's going on in your love life and hoping for this soulmate, twin flame, whatever you want to call it. But all relationships, all great loves are a reflection of what's going on with you inside. So the Lovers card is indicative of a possibility of a relationship that's coming in, but more importantly, it's about coming into divine union with yourself. And if you're like, forget about that, I want the relationship, know that you're not going to find a healthy relationship until you find a healthy union within yourself. So focus on that first and let the relationship trickle in because that happened. The Lovers is definitely saying that your masculine and feminine energies are calling out to you to integrate. And what does that mean? That means that we are looking at what we want in a partner, the qualities. Just like we were talking about with Peel, when you envy something, you're actually using them as a mirror. And if you use it as a healthy way, you integrate the things that you envy in them. Same thing with when you're infatuated with someone. You are infatuated with someone because they have either something that you want or something that you've shut out from your past, something that society or your parents or someone along the way told you that you couldn't be. And so you're not looking for that in someone outside of you so that you can feel complete. And that's just complete baloney, because what that means ultimately is that as you are looking at this other person, you can then recognize the things that you find attractive about them and ask yourself how you can become more of that. So don't use your relationship as something that completes you. Use it as a mirror to how you can complete yourself. I love how those went together. These cards were made to go in the same reading. So fire signs, I feel like some of you probably hit that like button or that subscribe button because there is definitely an infusion of the proper energy into this reading, because even the goddess goes so in alignment with what it is that you're doing under this new moon. I hope that that served you well, and we're moving on to our water signs. So water signs, Cancer, Pisces, Scorpio. Apologies to my Scorpio. I always say it in that order because I'm a Cancer sun and a Pisces moon. So Scorpio comes in my brain last. So Cancer, Pisces, Scorpio. We are shuffling up the deck to find out what your Leo new moon energy and advice is. So your energy for this Leo new moon is the Page of Cups. And your advice is the Nine of Cups. Water signs, some of y'all hit the like button as well because these are very much in alignment with your energy. The fact that we have 2 cups cards and a water sign reading feels very at home for myself and my fellow water signs. The Page of Cups as the energy is coming in and saying that you might be trying something new during this Leo new moon or directly after this Leo new moon. I would say sometime in between Leo new moon and Lionsgate on 8/8, something new is coming into fruition. You're getting the impulse to try a new creative project. You are embarking upon a new relationship. You are unearthing some sort of new emotional life from within yourself. This could be like a therapy breakthrough that happens as well. But something new is coming into play and you're feeling a little like you don't quite know what to do, but it's still exciting. The Page of Cups is saying that you aren't an expert in whatever it is that's happening. So if you are dating someone, you're probably dating someone that's unlike someone that you've ever dated before. If you are trying a new creative project, it's something that you've never tried before. Even if you've been really artistic, it's a different type of art. And so you're just trying to find your footing. If it's a therapy breakthrough, it's an emotion that you never thought that you would feel, or it's a part of your life that you never thought you would be exploring in your emotional world. There's definitely something that's happening that's new and exciting, but it also, like all new things, feels a little bit uncertain, and that can make us feel a little wobbly. Thankfully, the advice card is the Nine of Cups, which, like our Leos before us with the star, this is another wishes fulfilled card. This is being able to ask the universe for what you need and have it show up. So water signs, your manifestation powers are at their peak right now. And I want to echo back to our goddess Peel and say that that probably means that if you're using this jealousy and transmuting it into integration, you can very quickly call things into your life. So I think the argument that I'm hearing from the collective at the most when I say integrate the things that you feel jealous about is money. That's the hardest one to argue because it feels like it has something to do with our external circumstances. But these cards are telling me that the universe has your back in whatever it is that you're trying to call in to help balance out that feeling of jealousy and make it more integration. So ask for what you want. If you see something that someone else has and you want it, offer it up to the universe. Ask. Put it out on social media. It doesn't have to be always energetic that you're asking. You can literally like put it on an Amazon wish list and put that out in the world. You know, sometimes you have to help the universe along the way. You have to be able to take action in order for the universe to fulfill it for you. But there's still something very powerful about the energy right now. So even though you're new in this arena that you're embarking upon and you don't quite have your footing, and maybe you're feeling jealous of people that are more established, all you have to do is ask. Make your wishes and watch them come true. This is a great time to embark upon any manifestation practices that you have, or read some books on manifestation. Abraham Hicks is a great resource for this if you want to check them out on YouTube or any of their books. I'm also getting a little bit of an energy thing happen that just came forward during this reading. So as an empathic reader, sometimes when I'm reading for someone, I'll feel things in my body and they'll come on suddenly, and that's when I know it's because it's for the people that I'm reading for. So water signs, there's a little something happening in our throat chakra. So the left side of the throat chakra is always read for me as emotions that need to be expressed or creative energy that needs to be expressed. So the first thing I have to say is, if you have a creative project that you don't feel like you're an expert enough to dive into, the universe is being like, no, just ask for what you want and take the leap. The case in point, the Total Betty Goddess deck, the original one that we just pulled from, was made at a point in my life where I didn't feel like I had hardly any artistic talent. I didn't know how I was going to make it, but I had the full vision in my head. And ultimately, if we're gonna get real, I'm gonna talk about this more on social media, on my TikTok and things like that as this other deck comes out. I didn't freehand draw the images on these cards. I found screenshots from the movies, from the TV shows, from the people that I was drawing, and I found a really great digital program to try and essentially trace them. There's still some talent involved in that, because you do have to kind of figure out where you're going to put the lines even on the image that you're looking at. And because they were 90s icons that I was tracing, some of the photos were not good quality. So there was an artistic skill that started to develop more and more the more cards that I made, because some of them I was doing more of a freehand than a tracing. So from the beginning of the deck to the end of the deck on the first edition, my skills had grown exponentially, which is why I'm going back and doing some makeovers on some of the cards for the second edition. And it's been really exciting to see how I went from the first version to the new version. And I'll show you an example of that right here. So as you can see, I have Cher from Clueless, and the first version was done not even with the proper tools. It was on my iPhone with a super cheap stylus that I'd gotten on Amazon. And then the second version is the one that I'm doing for this new updated deck. My skills were better. The photo still wasn't the best quality, but I had better tools. I had better mindset of like where I wanted to place lines, and I'd drawn a couple more noses and a couple more eyes and a couple more mouths with other cards. And so even though I couldn't really see all those details in the photo that I was using, I could still kind of guess as to how to make that face come to life in a way that it didn't in the first card. And this is the perfect example for you water signs, because it's about starting before you think you're ready. If you're waiting around to feel like you are an expert in this field, you are gonna let so many opportunities pass you by. And quite frankly, you're gonna miss out on the opportunity to become an expert because you're not working on things along the way. I don't think I'm an expert at drawing these cards, but I've definitely gotten better throughout the course of the first deck into the second deck. So just start. Put it out there in the world, ask for the things that you need, and trust that the universe and the people around you will show up with mentorship, with supplies, with money, whatever it is that you're needing. Put it out there in the world. Water signs, I hope that that serves you well. Moving on, I forget what I said third in my preamble, but let's go ahead and do earth signs. So earth signs, we have Taurus, Virgo, and Capricorn, and we are finding out what your Leo new moon energy. So earth signs, your energy for this new moon is the Knight of Swords, and your advice card is the Seven of Wands. Whew. Earth signs, we're getting a little more nuance in this reading. My other cards, the second that I pulled them, there was a clear story going on here. So let's dive in here. We've got the energy of the Knight of Swords. So there's definitely a feeling of wanting to dive in, wanting to get moving, wanting to get action going on something. The advice card, however, is the Seven of Wands, which is about trying to make forward motion, really feeling passionate about your drive forward, but having something kind of standing in your way. Wait, I pulled out the guidebook to this deck just to double check to see if there's any more information that I needed for the Seven of Wands, and now I know why. Because one of the lines talking about hitting this wall but still being able to push through says, "You've succeeded and you're feeling strong, but others may be jealous." They'll try to make you feel like less and sow seeds of doubt in yourself. Don't let them. So there is an energy of jealousy coming in from our goddess Peel. I love how she's weaving her energy through all of these elements, but this actually might be more other people being jealous of you, which I think is a great eye-opener because you are also jealous of some other people. And if you can start to recognize the ways in which other people envy your life, it can kind of give you a little more gratitude for what you already have in your life, because other people are jealous of that, but also kind of flipping your perspective on anything you're jealous of other people. Because when you can think about it from the idea of the person that's being projected upon with this jealousy, you know that you worked hard for what you want, especially for your earth signs. You definitely put in the work for whatever it is that these other people are jealous of you for. But if you flip that around and look at the people that you're feeling jealous of, you can reverse engineer it a little bit and kind of create an action plan. Be like, okay, what hard work did they put in to get to where they are? And how can I reverse engineer that so that I can then make a plan to move forward into what it is that I'm trying to manifest? Because this is definitely a powerful energy of you are ready. Strike while the iron is hot. This is the true definition of luck, when opportunity meets preparation. So this is definitely a feeling of not letting the outside world block you from what you want by their own insecurities, but also recognizing that you need to flip your perspective on the things that you're trying to obtain, because you need to be able to take the steps that led up to it. So even though you want to dive in super quickly, the thing that you're supposed to dive into here is the diving into the action plan, not diving into the end result. So sorry, sometimes manifestations are instant because we do need to clarify things along the way. So you'll probably realize that your dream gets even better as you take this action plan, because you'll realize that there are things that you know that you want now that you would have never known that you wanted if you got it instantly. So it's a blessing. Trust that it's a blessing. I trust that you earth signs will have no problem putting in the work that's required for whatever it is that you're trying to do. But there was a little element here of like feeling impatient and wondering why it hasn't just fallen in your lap already. And this is like, hey, your skills lie in the idea that you can take action and put in the hard work. So use that as your free space. So like in bingo, you have that free space that's given to you. Your free space, earth signs, is the fact that you can put in hard work and you can make a to-do list and you can get things done. So do that towards this goal of whatever it is that you're feeling envious of others, and you will get there much sooner than you think. So moving on from our earth signs into our air signs, Gemini, Libra, and Aquarius. So shuffling up the deck for your new moon in Leo energy. Let's see what we got. So underneath the deck, the energy for your Leo new moon is the Knight of Pentacles. And your advice is the Ace of Pentacles. Air signs, you're grounding yourself a little bit this month. This is definitely an interesting inverse with the earth and the air, because earth signs had air and fire, and air signs, you have all earth. So you're a little out of your element, but that's good. We always need to be a little out of our element sometimes so that we can find that balance. But basically, the message behind these cards for you air signs is slow and steady wins the race. Slow and steady wins the race. So in contrast to the last reading from our earth signs, where things are kind of moving forward very quickly, know that whatever it is that you're trying to obtain, maybe it's financial goals, maybe it is a stable and strong relationship, whatever it is that you're trying to call in, whatever it is that you're jealous of others for having, it's a marathon, not a sprint. So just prepare for that. Fuel up. Make sure that you are energized for the longer journey, because honestly, the longer journey feels a little luxurious in this case. It doesn't have to necessarily mean that it's going to be a long, hard journey. This feels like enjoying the process. So if you've been trying to dive into something super quickly, if you've been really impatient about a relationship coming into your life and you're trying to force it to happen with the wrong people, same thing with a job, same thing with a family issue, it's definitely time to just slow down and smell the roses. So I encourage you to really enjoy the company that you're keeping, regardless of whether it's romance. Really enjoy the situations that are unfolding on your way to your goal, because the goal is coming. The Ace of Pentacles is the money in hand, the relationship in your bed, whatever it is you're trying to manifest, it's on its way. It's just not gonna be rushed. And the more that you try to rush it, the slower it's gonna go, because nobody likes someone trying to rush them. And the more that you try to rush it, the less likely you're gonna be satisfied with the end result. So trust the divine timing. And again, I cannot stress this enough. Enjoy the process, because your life is gonna change when this thing comes in. So along the way, enjoy what's happening that you might not be able to enjoy once this thing comes into your life. Because things will change. When something this big comes into your life completely can change. And that means mostly good stuff, but it also means letting go of some of your alone time if you're getting into a relationship. It might mean letting go of some of your free time if you manifested a really great paying job. But it's gonna be worth the trade-off, but at the same time, like, enjoy that stuff that's happening now that you might not be able to enjoy when this thing finally comes in. And you'll really thank yourself for that later. You'll thank yourself for soaking that up along the way. Think of it as if you were a pregnant woman really being impatient for that baby to arrive. But then when the baby arrives, all you wanna be able to do is have a full night's sleep. Or all you want to be able to do is have a couple minutes by yourself. That's essentially what this manifestation is. It's coming in like a newborn baby where you're going to get a lot of joy, but you're also going to lose a lot of stuff that you have right now. So enjoy the stuff that you still have while it's still around, and enjoy the process as you make a slow little clip clop into this manifestation. That's what this feels like. We're not racing down the beach like this guy in our Earth sign reading. We are just moseying along. That horse is definitely stopping and eating grass every couple seconds. It is taking its sweet time. And if you can just enjoy taking your sweet time, it's going to make the process a lot more beautiful. So I hope that these readings have served you well. If you are piqued with your interest on the cards that I just pulled, I'm going to shuffle up the deck and pull for the collective over on the Patreon, which, like I said, is a smaller collective, I guarantee, than what I was just reading for your elements. So if you want to super focus that energy, in addition to that subscribe and like button on YouTube, you want to go ahead and head over to patreon.com/Michelle Shea and join the Monthly Mystics, where you'll get the extended reading of this video, which is already up. So I'm going to shuffle up the cards, and if you are watching on Patreon, the rest of your reading starts right now. And then you'll be asked to walk away from something that's not healthy for you. Guys, I'm gonna watch this back when I'm editing it, and I don't even know what it is that's gonna come forward for me, but I know this is gonna be one of those readings that I'm watching and I'm like, that's what I'm talking about for myself. Because right now my mind is just kind of blank so that I can channel the messages. And then when I edit things, a lot of times I recognize what the message is for me, and I feel like I'm gonna love and hate it all at once.